If you think that was exciting, wait till you see this. The Looping Starship. And they're about to do a test run.
You've probably seen rides like this before. They sometimes call it the pirate ship, but they just swing back and forth. The Looping Starship, believe it or not, goes all the way over. So far, they're only testing it without people on board. But a few weeks from now, Expo visitors will be able to enjoy this and the many other attractions here at our World's Fair. Hi, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona Marr. Welcome to the first day of spring. And in Vancouver, that signifies at least two things this year.
Right, daffodils and income tax.
I was thinking more of Expo and the Centennial. This week on World Stage 86, Vancouver school kids are working on a new musical with a principal they all love.
Wonderful faces are beginning to appear on the outside of the UN Pavilion at Expo. We'll find out why.
We'll tell you how to give a centennial gift to your city.
And we'll unveil a new centennial painting by Jack Shadbolt, right here on World Stage.
But first, we turn our attention to Expo souvenirs, which are already appearing at Vancouver stores. Some are delightful.
Some are junk.
But one thing's for sure, there are plenty of them, as Bill Dobson found out.
You know, I'm just overwhelmed. The selection is beyond belief, beyond my wildest imagination, in the thousands. They're all over town now, and when Expo opens, they'll be all over the site. Something for everybody to remember Expo 86.
There are plush toys, Ernie's, keychains, trays, notebooks, Ernie key rings, paperweights, pens, lighters, nail clippers, address books, big purses, small purses, more Ernie's, little ones, big ones, bibs, pothole. Wait. Oh, give me a break. I have something else to say. Brian Woolley of Expo Souvenir Marketing says that people can spend whatever they want.
Well, they can go down to 99 cents, and they can go up to approximately $200 retail. So there's a wide range for those, for all the customers and consumers.
There are cocktail glasses, beer glasses, water glasses, glass mugs, shot glasses, boating mugs, ashtrays, cups and saucers, coffee mugs, beer steins, plates, more plates, dinner bells, bottle stoppers, trinket boxes, big buttons, medium buttons, small buttons, pennants, spoons, bookmarks, charms, medallions, miniatures, tote bags of all shapes and sizes.
This is an Expo 86 back scratcher. Oh, from the Expo warehouse for World Stage 86, I'm Bill Dobson.
Okay, so it's Centennial Year in Vancouver. Sure, it's an important occasion in our city's history, but is it something kids would care about? Well, some do. In fact, they're having a ball putting together a new musical play, especially for Centennial.
Things may appear calm and quiet outside Quilchena School in Vancouver, but within these hallowed halls, 240 kids are singing at the top of their lungs, practicing to be green and grizzly trolls for a new centennial play. The play Bridges was written by their fun-loving principal, John Stark.
It's called a musical fantasy, but historically it's accurate in that we're really talking about Vancouver as seen through the bridges in the city. The fantasy comes in with the trolls. The idea of trolls we got from, of course, the Three Billy Goats Gruff, the old story, and we sort of wove that into our show.
Voices up. The trees are tall, the forest green, the water runs so green.
20 other schools are also putting on bridges, and at the end of May, all of the students will gather underneath the Burrard Street Bridge for a stirring finale. John's wife, Jennette, wrote the storyline.
we all learn to read and write and do arithmetic. But I think the outstanding things that we think about when we look back on our schooling is those moments that stand out. A play that you were in, a poem that you recited, and I hope Gathering of the Trolls will be a fun event for kids.
The Starks have undoubtedly woven a musical that captures young imaginations, and the students are putting extra heart into this play for their favorite principal, Mr. Stark.
I hope he can direct all the next ones that I do. He's a nice teacher. And he really gives us self-confidence. He's very nice. And he is a fun person to do things with, like projects and things like bridges, like musicals.
I think if I had to say I wanted something to come out of this musical more than anything else, it would be a really sensitivity towards other people. And I think children learn that. And they certainly learn it through music.
School was never like this when I was a kid, but then there was never a Mr. Stark. Bridges opens at Point Grey High March 24th. For World Stage 86, I'm Ramona Marr.
Still ahead on World Stage, parking tips for Expo, how to give a centennial gift to your city, and the many faces of the UN Pavilion.
In 1913, the Vancouver Parks Board decided to build a seawall around Stanley Park. The project lasted 62 years. For most of that time, the work was done by master stonemason Jimmy Cunningham. But the project seemed to stop for world wars and when Parks Board money was short. The seawall made it all the way around the park in 1971, with finishing touches going on until 1975. Was it worth it? Just ask the walkers and joggers of today.
And now, Expoguide. Last week, we suggested some convenient ways to get to the Expo site after the fair opens. And we recommended that you don't take your car. The traffic will be murder. But if you must take it, your next headache will be trying to find a place to park it. So here's some information on how the parking situation looks. By the time Expo opens, there should be around 25,000 parking spaces available within a 15-minute walk of the site. The parking areas are indicated in red on this map. A shuttle bus service will carry passengers from parking lots to the Expo gates for a nominal fee. These trailblazer signs will lead you to the areas where the Expo parking lots are located. Once you've parked your vehicle, additional signs will lead you to the nearest gate or to the shuttle bus. Now, how much will it cost you to park your car? Well, the prediction is that it will cost between $6 and $8 a day, depending on how close it is to the site. There's no guarantee these figures will stick, but that's the prediction. And what's the best time of day to come by car? Well, studies indicate that the peak arrival time will be between 10 and 11 a.m., so it's best to avoid that period. Going home, the peak time will be about 9 p.m. Another service to help you park will be the daily parking updates on local radio stations. Some will issue maps of the parking lots and then make regular announcements about which lots have space available. There's no question that the traffic will be a lot heavier than we're used to. But if it makes you feel any better, the city is installing a new $6 million traffic control system to coordinate the traffic lights. That should improve things now, shouldn't it? Finally, if you're driving to Expo along 2nd Avenue and onto the Cambie Street Bridge, you might notice this sign. There are two possible explanations. Either somebody in the city sign department doesn't know how to spell, or they're trying very hard to make our American visitors feel at home. And that's Expoguide.
Here's a scoop. The new director of the Vancouver Art Gallery likes to take boat rides. Not just any kind of boat, mind you, but the kind that, well, you'll see. The lady in question is Joanne Birnie-Danzker, and she's our guest this week on My Vancouver.
Coming from Australia, one of the biggest adjustments I had in moving to Canada was to adjust to the climate differences, to being separated from the ocean, from the Pacific Ocean, and from sun. And Obviously, when I moved to Vancouver, I started to feel a lot more comfortable that I was right on the water one more time, that there were beaches inside the city, and despite what most people say about Vancouver, we did have a lot of sunshine as well. And every time I have visitors in from out of town, I also take them by ferry, whether or not it's on the Expo site, or just traveling back and forth to buy flowers or some food for the evening. And I think that in the combination of the ferry and the market, we have something that no other city offers. The water and an intimate shopping space, a community shopping space, and of course access to the sun and to nature.
Here you go. Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Yeah, have a good day.
One of the projects designed to celebrate our 100th birthday is something called the Centennial Gifts Program. Who gets the gift? Well, we sent Shelley Reisler to find out.
Captain George Vancouver gave us quite the gift when he first sighted the Lower Mainland back in 1792. After all, he gave us a place to live. If not for him, we could all be living in Toronto. Now, Vancouver has given residents a lot of satisfaction in the past 100 years. That's provided you stay away from the Lions Gate Bridge during rush hour. So here's your opportunity to return the favor with a gift for your city's 100th birthday. Come on, I'll show you some examples.
The civic mace, which sits in City Council, was a gift from the City of London in 1936. It's gotten a little tarnished, so a local company has donated the funds to have it replated in gold. With all the hot air in Council sometimes, we're surprised it didn't rust. The first gift of the program was this bronze coat of arms given to City Hall by the Women's Canadian Club. All of the ideas for the Vancouver Gifts program are nicely illustrated and included in this catalog, complete with prices and order forms. These stained glass poets are looking for a donor to return them to their rightful place in Carnegie Center, alongside Shakespeare and his friends. Your donation can go to community centers to help purchase recreational equipment or teaching aids like computers. Buying a flag will add a little color as a gift to the city that seems to have everything.
This is a replica of the Jubilee rocket, built in 1936 for Vancouver's 50th birthday. The original was over 14 feet long. Now, somehow over the years, the real thing got thrown on the scrap heap. But the Sheet Metal Workers Union and the Vancouver Transportation Club are going to bring it back to life as part of the Vancouver Gifts program.
All engines running. Launch commit.
I thought this was only a replica.
We have liftoff at 9.
This will be 8 feet high and weigh 14,000 pounds when complete, and will commemorate, what else? Our 100th year as a city. Any suggestions to where it should go?
Oh, you can help keep Vancouver beautiful by purchasing one of these solid and attractive trash containers. Cash or charge. Garbage is not included. So take a load off your feet and have a seat on a street or park bench that you help pay for.
Tricia French is the coordinator of the Vancouver Gifts program.
We have an office and we have a phone number, 873-7999, and people can phone there. We'll send them a catalog. It has about 200 interesting ideas for gifts from $5 up.
So why not consider a tax-deductible gift for a real loved one, the city of Vancouver on her 100th birthday? From a park bench at Stanley Park, for World Stage 86, I'm Shelley Reisler.
Inside the United Nations Pavilion at Expo this summer, you'll find an inspiring exhibit devoted to international peace and harmony. But the outside of the building is also fascinating. In fact, it's a real work of art.
A huge mural depicting people from all over the world is being painted over the entrance to the United Nations Pavilion. It's a magnificent piece of work, painted entirely by Vancouver artist Paul Gartua, who told us what he set out to create.
I tried to think of something that would coordinate with the concept of the UN Pavilion, so that means people, peace, unity, so I've sort of mixed it up and brought in a lot of different ethnic groups, with young children as well and older people, sort of putting across you know, the ideas of the UN.
So who do these people represent exactly?
Represent different races, different breeds, different types of people from all over the world.
About the logistics of doing something like this, how do you paint a picture that's that big?
big brushes, lots of energy. Usually, if I'm doing something this big before, I've always used scaffolding, and that's more time-consuming and very tiring. So this is really great. I've got this machine that takes me up and down and forward and backwards. I drive it just like sitting in a sort of a cherry picker, you know.
The dimensions of the mural are immense, covering an area 100 feet long by 30 feet high. 16 faces, some of them 12 feet tall, will be illustrated on the exterior face of the pavilion.
What does this mural mean to you?
6 weeks of hard work, putting together an idea that, in a sense, puts the world united. That's the way we've named it, bringing together different people, different faces, different age groups, and making them harmonize on a wall of a building that represents that sort of ideal, you know.
So when people come to see this painting, what would you like them to feel?
Oh, well, probably maybe what their own beliefs are, you know, that we should sort of all start maybe getting together.
With a theme of peace and harmony, what could be more fitting than to have the mural seen and appreciated by thousands of visitors?
Still to come, Bob Switzer meets a ghost from the past, and a new Shadbolt is unveiled right here on World Stage.
See that? That's 97.
Are out to smash the competition.
The great magician Harry Houdini did one of his escape tricks in Vancouver. In 1923, he was tied into a straitjacket and hanged by his feet from the front of the Vancouver Daily Sun building. The stunt attracted thousands of people as well as the newsmen inside. Needless to say, he escaped. Show off.
Bob Switzer is taking this centennial year very seriously. His tireless quest for our early history recently led him to a spot that has haunted him ever since.
Oh, gee, it's cold in New Westminster today. Traffic roaring by on Royal Avenue. 100 years ago, man was accomplishing a tremendous amount between what we know today of as Vancouver and, of course, what was here, New Westminster. Captain William Irving built this house. A great accomplishment. He was a terrific man. A very unusual man. He put the steamboats on the Fraser River. But you know, when I come here, I get the darndest feeling. This house talks to me.
When I first built my home in New Westminster, at that time a community of just a few hundred people, it was the only house on the hill. I'd like to tell you a little bit about those early days. I enjoy my library, and I spend a lot of time here. You just missed a friend of mine. I believe later on you know him as Gassy Jack, and he lends his name to your community. But to me, he's just John Dayton. He works for me as a pilot on one of my paddle wheelers, the boats that take all the supplies and the men and equipment to the goldfields. We spent the afternoon discussing business, politics, and Robbie Burns. When I left Scotland in 1831, the area that I left from, Dumfriesshire, was where Burns wrote his works and died. We don't use the parlor very much. Wasn't used very much at all. It was used for special occasions, for weddings and birthdays and other major special events. After 1870, we held May Day parties in this room. And of course, all those wonderful seasonal events that we still enjoy. Events having to do with Christmas, May 24th for Queen Victoria, July 1st for Canada, after 1867, remember. I just love this room. So much a family room, the kitchen. In my case, my family, my beloved wife Elizabeth, our 4 daughters and our son, spend a lot of time in this room. It's important also in the kitchen to make sure that the stove stays lit and that the room does stay warm. We had no problem with fuel because right across the street from us was a dense forest, 100 yards from here, you could hunt. You could go to the area of west end of Vancouver now and to the Three Greenhorns claim and get coal. Just like the old country, coal, wood, everything we needed. But keeping warm was a never-ending task. And now I'd like to take you to another room in my home, a room that has certain special and very final memories for me. Yes, the special memories in this room surround the bed. It was in this bed in 1872 that I passed away. But life does go on. And I look back on what my family did, and I'm so proud of that. My son, John, took over my fleet after I died, the Pioneer Line, the Canadian Pacific Navigation Line, and then it ultimately became the Canadian Pacific Coastal Service. So many things have changed and gone on. I look back to a time when to go to Vancouver on horseback could take half a day, on foot a whole day. And the other day I was told that you can do it now in less than 30 minutes. I would never have entertained such a thought. So many things have changed. But from those of us who have gone before, to you, Vancouver, best wishes on your 100-year celebration.
I swear this old house talks to me. Well, from Irving House in New Westminster, I'm Bob Switzer for World Stage 86.
We're happy to say that Bob Switzer is no longer hearing voices and is doing just fine. Coming up on March 23rd is a fun and exciting event for the whole family at Robson Square. It's the Vancouver Centennial Art Race, a scavenger hunt for the signatures of 4 of Vancouver's most renowned artists. Prizes include a trip for 2 to Australia. Ramona and I had a chance to visit one of the artists, Jack Shadbolt.
Okay, you want me to unveil the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's lovely. Now, what does that say about Vancouver and the Centennial to Jack Shadbolt?
Oh, well, look, the mandate was to produce a poster which had a wide popular appeal for Expo, which could have some souvenir value for people coming here, as well for the Centennial as for Expo. And what could be a better romance image, you know, Vancouver City than the sort of white city against the mountain and boats in the harbor and all that kind of stuff. You know, I wanted something romantic and simple and that uncomplicated image. I like doing posters. I like doing things of that kind, simplified images for wider appeal. When I'm painting, that's private. I do that in my studio, but once the work gets out, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't get out in a wide way.
So I'm going to be able to go out and buy this fine art poster and put it up in my room.
Oh, I gather that they're selling them all over the place, and that's good. Sure, that suits me. More the merrier.
I'd rather be sailing.
Me too. Next week on World Stage 86, we'll devote most of our show to the Vancouver Centennial. It's only 17 days before our official 100th birthday.
We'll take a look at some remarkable old film about Vancouver, as it was 50 years ago in our Jubilee year.
We'll profile Chunky Woodward.
We'll premiere a new song about Vancouver.
On the Expo beat, we'll show you some spectacular Hong Kong dragon boats. Don't miss it.
For World Stage 86, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona Marr. See you next week.